Hello and welcome to ELA Grade 12. We are on week 3, lesson 13, and I am going to walk you through today's distance learning lesson. We are going to get started with our riddle of the day, so if you have anyone who you want to call over to participate in this riddle with you and help you solve it, go ahead and call them over now. And I'm going to read this aloud to you while you follow along on the screen. I am light as a feather, yet the strongest person can't hold me for 5 minutes. What am I? Read it again to yourself if you need to. And here's the part where you're going to pause the video if you're still thinking, because I am about to show you the answer. Your breath. Obviously very light, but you can't hold it for very long. Okay? So hopefully you enjoyed that little riddle. As we jump right into our lesson, we are on lesson 13, which is on page 47 of your learning packet. So make sure you have access to that now. And you'll also need your note catcher on page 48, and of course, something to write with. We are going to finish reading our text today. So for the last 4 lessons, we have been reading Back to My Own Country, an essay. And today we are going to read pages 39 and 40 in your learning packet. So make sure you have access to all of your materials before moving on with this video and the lesson. Here is our learning target for today. Let's read it together. I can describe the impact of authors' word choices in a text. Okay, so after we do our first reading today, we're going to really look at some of the words that the author used in the parts that we read and think about why she may have used those particular words and how those choices affected the message that she conveyed. And just a quick review, so Back to My Own Country, an essay, of course, it is a first-hand account of how British colonialism complicated the idea of home, specifically for this author. Um, and we're reading it now because we read last week, we were reading A Changing World, which taught us about British colonialism. So now we're thinking about how did the colonialism era complicate the idea of home for different populations, and what does it mean to call a place home? So again, just keep these guiding questions in mind as we move on today and finish our reading of the text. You are going to read paragraphs 34 through 36 today, and as you read, annotate by underlining the words, phrases, or sentences that stand out to you. Draw a box around any unfamiliar words or phrases, and finally write down any reactions, opinions, or questions that you have about the text in the margins. Once you're done reading, you will go back and reread paragraph 35, and in your rereading, you'll be marking the details that describe the gift of post-war immigration. Just marking the words that describe the gift of post-war immigration. I'll model this for you before you get started. So, as I read paragraph 35, I noticed and underlined the details that express the author's thoughts about the benefits of the large Jamaican immigrant population in Britain. I underlined these words in blue. Immigration to Britain has been a final, unexpected gift to Britain from its old empire. And then the author goes on to talk about the benefits here. So I didn't underline it at all for you here because I wanted to leave some for you to do, but this is just a hint and something to kind of get you started. So I would recommend that you pause the video here, go ahead and do your first reading of these paragraphs, and then go back and do a second reading of paragraph 35 and underline those details there. Okay, now that you have done your first reading and your rereading, it's time to think and talk. And today we'll be thinking and talking about the same question. And the question is, why do you think the author chose the word gift as a way to represent the post-war history of immigration to Britain. What are the connotations of the word gift? Share your answer with a family member, caregiver, or friend. Pause the video to do this now. Okay, so you've done your thinking and your talking. I'm going to give you a little insight into the thinking and talking that I did about this question. So as I was thinking and talking, I referred to my text. I referred to paragraph 35 and the annotations that I made when I went back to do my rereading of that paragraph. And then I was thinking, when I hear the word gift, I think of something good that is given to someone without any expectation of receiving something in return. So if you give someone a present, you're usually not expecting a present in return. For example, when you give someone a birthday present or like a just because thanks for being my friend type of present, you usually don't expect anything in return. So I think the author chose this word to express the sentiment that the gift of immigration was received by Britain without Britain recognizing the resources and strength that the talented immigrants brought to the empire. The word gift also suggests something positive and unexpected, and the author lists some of these positive aspects as being new ideas, cultural experiences, and people with talent and creativity. Your writing today is going to follow up on the underlining, the annotations, the thinking, and talking. It's going to bring it all together in this first question here that you'll answer at the top of your note catcher. And that question is, how would the impact of paragraph 35 change if the word gift were replaced with benefit or asset? So if you need to rewind the video and listen to what I was talking about when I told you what the word gift reminded me of, you can go ahead and do that. And think about how would the impact of paragraph 35 change if the word gift wasn't there, and if instead of gift, we were hearing the author talking about the benefit or asset instead. The second question you're going to answer on your note catcher is, why does the author say it was inevitable that people like her dad, who emigrated from the Caribbean island of Jamaica to Britain, would end up in Britain? Why does the author say that it was inevitable that that would happen? So go ahead, take some time and answer those questions. And then after you're done answering, I would like you to share your answer with someone. But before you go ahead and do that, let's preview some of the upcoming learning. So in our next lesson, we will be rereading key sections and answering questions about the author. And like I mentioned, I would like you to talk about your lesson with someone and also share your writing with someone. So share those two answers on your note catcher. Also read for 20 minutes and complete a reading log entry. That reading log again can be found in the front of your packet. And then finally, don't forget to practice your reading fluency using the first or second page of your weekly reading. Thank you, and I will see you again soon.